the Vice Chancellor, ably represented, permit me to stand on the already established protocol. This event is coming at an auspicious time. When Dr. Mustafa was in my office, after sending a letter earlier, I told him it might be difficult for me to attend because on the 26th of June every year, the agency, or the world, let me not say the agency, the world celebrates the United Nations International Day against drug abuse and illicit trafficking. This is done on the 26th of June every year. And it normally encompasses a week-long program. We started on the 19th with the GDSS Pantami, where we and the First Lady went to talk to the students there. We had two schools, spoke to two schools on 28th. We had a roadwalk with a representative of the First Lady yesterday. Today I'm supposed to be arrested, but I told Dr. Mustafa I want to be here. I'll be speaking to you on dispelling the public misconceptions on mental health and the menace of drug addiction. But first of all, let's just define drug addiction. Drug addiction is defined as a chronic relapsing disorder characterized by compulsive drug seeking and use despite adverse consequences. It is considered a brain disorder because it involves functional changes to brain circuits involved in reward, stress, and self-control. Drug addiction can also be defined as a treatable medical disease involving interactions among brain circuits, chronic genetics, the environment, and the individual's life experiences. People with addiction use substances or engage in behaviors that become compulsive and often continue despite harmful consequences. This happens. I've seen people here, in my nature of job, I've seen people who know that the drug is killing them, but they keep using the drugs because of that compulsion. Mental health is simply defined as a person's condition with regard to their psychological and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps to determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. Is drug abuse linked to mental health? Dr. Parikh clarified that drug addiction is a form of mental health issue in itself. He said that addiction disorders are a class of mental illness wherein all types of substances and addictive behavior, disorder fall, such as drinking and gambling. So what's the relationship between drug abuse and mental illness? Many chronic drug abusers, the individuals we commonly regard as addicts, often simultaneously suffer from a serious disorder. Drug treatment and medical professionals call this condition a co-occurring disorder or dual diagnosis. People with drug addiction disorder are at a higher risk of developing anxiety and depression. This can also lead to dropping out of school or college, lack of focus at work, road accidents, financial issues, and suicides. Drug addiction disorder needs to be given the right amount of attention as it's a mental health ailment. Drug addiction can be prevented thus by educating young people in schools and colleges about the negative impacts of drug addiction. Secondly, by counseling sessions for young people. And thirdly, in the case of young people using drugs, it is important to extend a helping hand to them at the earliest. You know, sometimes we look at the drug addicts as bad people or people who shouldn't be helped. But we like in my organization, we don't refer to them as drug addicts anymore. We call them victims of the drug scourge. They are victims. They require our help. They require financial help. They require family help, individuals help. Dispelling public misconception on health, on mental health and drug use is a way of correcting the view or opinion that is currently incorrectly held by the general public in order to have a factual information. There are some misconceptions we have. We have one like mental health issues cannot affect me. Mental health issues can affect anyone or everyone. The second one is that people with mental health condition are violent. And the fact is that most people with mental health condition are no more likely to be violent than anyone else. The third misconception we hear is that there is hope for people. There is no hope for people with mental health issues. Once a friend or family member develops a mental health condition, they will never recover. The fact is that the studies have shown that people with mental health conditions get better, and many are on the path of recovery with the help of the society and the family. And that myth is that one can stop using drugs at any time. The fact is that in case of people who are dependent, withdrawal symptoms and other social factors make stopping difficult. But there are some people and programs that can help. Some people believe that teenagers are too young to get addicted. The fact is that addiction can happen at any stage. Even an unborn child can be addicted through the use of illegal substances by the mother. This passes through the umbilical cord. So even a baby, an unborn baby, can be addicted. Alcohol and drugs relieve stress. It helps deal with problems. This is not a fact. You take alcohol or drug, you think it's relieving your problem. It's only postponing that problem. It's just taking you away immediately from that stage of that problem. When the effects of the drugs are worn off, the problem still remains. It says once an addict, always an addict. That's not true. Many people can recover from dependence while others find it difficult. Recovery is a lifelong process that may require multiple treatment efforts. We see them daily, every time, from our rehab centers and treatment centers. The rates or the possibility of relapse after counseling and treatment is almost 40%. So relapse is something that we should all know that can happen. It's not that I've taken this man to a rehab center now, I spent my money there, he has come back, he's of no use, so let me not let me not take him again. Relapse is about 40% after treatment. There's this misconception here too we have that drugs or alcohol enhances our sexual performance. But the truth here is that the drugs and alcohol inhibit the sexual performance. And that myth here is that drug addicts are people with bad character or antisocial personality. The fact here is that drug addiction is an illness which can affect anyone. There may be multiple factors responsible, and individual's personality is just one of them. This year's theme of our UN Day is said, people first, stop stigma and discrimination, strengthen prevention. It's apt here. A drug user is not a riffraff, is not an imbecile, he's a human being like all of us seated here. That's why we use the term they are just victims. They require more help than you think. We should be able to help them. The society should be able to help them. Individuals should be able to help them. The family should be able to help them. The community mobilization in drug control. A community can be defined as a group of people residing in the same locality and having common interests. On the other hand, mobilization can be defined as organizing or assembling resources for a particular purpose. Therefore, community mobilization will be in organizing or assembling resources of a group of people residing in the same locality with a common interest for a particular purpose. In this case, it will imply to mobilize human and material resources of our communities in order to reduce the incidence of drug abuse and trafficking and its devastating consequences. We all know that we have social, psychological, and physical consequences of drug abuse. Prevention of drug abuse and trafficking is everyone's business and must not be left to government alone to tackle. Sometimes we look at, we tell ourselves that my parent, my child, or my world is not involved in drug, it doesn't concern me. Yes, your child or world is not involved in drug, but he can be a victim of crime caused by a drug addict. So all of us should open our eyes and assist each and every drug-dependent person to live. Drug problems that might cause damage to human health must be a cause of concern to politicians, political office holders, religious and community leaders, teachers, students, professionals, and so on. Thus, communities must be actively involved in drug abuse prevention programs. The role of the society through community in drug control. NDLA recognizes the need to actively collaborate with the community in solving the drug menace. This is a realization of the fact that no public program or policy can succeed, no matter how well intentioned it may seem, if the people for which it is meant for do not appreciate and participate in its implementation. The government therefore devised a way in which participation shall involve a wide variety of stakeholders to promote the health of its citizens. Some of the highlights for some of the people involved in this are the individuals. An individual is regarded as the nucleus of a society, and as such, individuals should live a drug-free life. Each individual should be a role model. Concerned members of the community can give financial and material assistance to the Drug Control Agency. We've had people do that. Individuals should also give information on drug dealers and other criminals to relevant law enforcement agencies. This is where we have one of the major problems here. Sometimes society, we want the agency to perform magic and perform miracles. We have made arrests, we have made seizures, beautiful seizures, tremendous arrests. But I want to tell you that some of these were made by the collaboration of an individual or a community. But we find it difficult, mostly, to point out this drug dealer. Someone who knows stays at the back of the house, and back of your room, and sells his Indian hemp. And he turns your back window into a joint. You are afraid to come and tell the law enforcement agent. We are not magicians. We are not native doctors. We require information to function. The role of the parents here is mobilization of the youth towards a drug-free society by proper channeling of their energy and zeal. They should also be good role models. Every parent should be a good role model. A child copies what the parent does. Mostly, let me not say always. So we should always look out and behave well so that we can be good role models to our kids, our worlds, our neighbors. The third community here is the teachers. They should put up policies that are enforceable against drug abuse and trafficking and the penalty for non-compliance. They should be good role models. You see, this role model keeps coming from the individual to the parents to the teachers. They should be good role models. And dissemination of information and sensitization of various target groups on the dangers inherent in drug abuse and illicit trafficking. I want to believe that this is one of the programs going to do that. There should also be routine campaigns in schools, as students have been found to be the most vulnerable group. They say prevention is better than cure. That's what we call the primary, tertiary, primary, secondary, and tertiary treatments. The primary one is to first catch them young, not to let them even start taking. That is the most important one, to prevent the youths or school-age children to start taking drugs. The role of the traditional opinion leaders should be that they should be good role models. They should help in fishing out the dealers in drugs in their communities. They can be used as resource persons in anti-drug abuse prevention programs within the community. They should put up policies that are enforceable against drug abuse and trafficking within the community and the penalty for non-compliance. Let me just make an example from these traditional rulers. There was an assignment one of my area commands, one of my officers went to, not as one of my officers went to, where they were having a program like this. The ward head engineered youths to disrupt that program and chase them out. He had to take the intervention of the district head and the imam for my officers to have been saved. We now found out that the ward head was a user. So he didn't want the program to go on. The local and state authorities. Effective collaboration of states and local government drug abuse control committees in the mobilization of the community. The agency had set up the state drug abuse control committees headed by the first ladies of each state. And at the local level, we have what we call local drug abuse control committee. But I don't think these ones are functional in Gombe State here. We use them to help us propagate some of our programs. The media should also contribute positively towards the attitude, knowledge, and perception of our youth about drugs. The media should also stop glamorizing the use of socially acceptable drugs. The religious organization is a place or a place of worship in reaching different segments of society. This place of worship may need to go a little beyond their formal approach of moral persuasion to mobilization of the community and their resources in waging meaningful war against drug abuse and trafficking. Religious organizations should provide recreational facilities as well as vocational centers for the youth in the community. Religious organizations should use their influence to advocate for more stringent penalties for drug abuse, for drug traffickers. The NGOs and CSOs, they always help us in disseminating information and sensitization of various target groups on the dangers inherent in drug abuse and illicit trafficking. They do routine campaigns in schools as students have been found to be the most vulnerable group. They establish treatment and rehabilitation centers in community in order to take care of drug-dependent persons within the community. The need for policy making in the Northeast. The main goal of policy making is to improve life for members of the public, and the Northeast zone should not be an exception. Thus, by creating good policies, the government will be able to address the issue of public health in relation to mental health and drug use. Advocacy aims at influencing decision-making with the goals of developing, establishing, or changing policies and establishing sustaining programs and services. Advocacy to relevant stakeholders that formulate and implement policies should be taken seriously in order to win hearts of the decision makers, which will in turn improve the lives of those they govern. In conclusion, therefore, most of these misconceptions by the public have contributed to stigmatization of mental health and drug users, and this has hampered numerous implementations of governmental policies on harm reduction. Government at all levels and the community have a crucial role in promoting mental health, including the mental health of workers, and in ensuring that mental health problems are recognized early and treated effectively. Thank you very much.